Okay, you have your NFL Week 14 Power Rankings back after missing a week. But number 10, I'm going to have the Denver Broncos back on this list for the first time. The Broncos, they're coming off some impressive victories ever since that Chiefs loss. Their defense has looked really good, although not great on Monday. But it's really their offense, I think, has really improved. Bo Nix has looked really good. Um, Cortland Sutton is having a bounce back year. I think they have an underrated offensive line right now. They've been keeping Bo Nix upright, and obviously Sean Payton has that offense rolling, but also their defense, probably like their top five, top 10 defense. Patrick Surtain continues to lock down as long as Levi Wallace isn't on the field. But the Broncos, they have a surprisingly well-rounded team. Honestly, they could be higher if it weren't for a backup quarterback and a slow start, but the Broncos have really found their groove. Number 9, I'm gonna have the LA Chargers up a spot. 2 weeks ago they lost to the Ravens on Monday night, but last week they bounced back versus the Chiefs. Chargers, I am slightly concerned about their offense now that Lad McConkey is injured, and J.K. Dobbins is injured. Our running game hasn't been efficient the last two games, and their passing game is over reliant on Lad McConkey and not super effective. So that's definitely something to monitor looking forward because their offense the past couple of weeks not great. However, their defense I think has played good football. They weren't great versus the Ravens, but they played very good versus the Falcons. Derwin James is having himself a year. Pass rush is decent, so I think the Chargers that offense does scare me a little bit, but I think their defense and their continuing to beat opponents puts them at number 9. Number 8, I'm gonna have the Baltimore Ravens down 2 spots. They lost to the Eagles on Sunday, and before then they beat the Chargers. So the Ravens up and down kind of past 2 weeks. Like I said previously about the Ravens, they've had some of the best wins that I've seen, but some of the worst losses as well. Especially those ones against the Raiders earlier in the season. But against the Eagles, I think their offense, Lamar really couldn't sling it like he has the rest of the season. Their running game is still very good. I'm not too concerned about their offense. I do think they'll bounce back from that Eagles game. However, their defense, still not certain on their defense. Secondary still very sketchy, but I still believe that the Ravens' defensive line run game is good enough to keep them at 8. Number 7, I'm gonna have the Minnesota Vikings up 1 spot. Like I said previously as well for the Vikings, defense very good, probably one of the best. They kind of shut down the Cardinals or stopped them in the red zone a bunch. They provide a lot of pressure. Their defense is not the problem. I think they have a stout defense. But offensively, like they haven't been as productive as they've been earlier in this season. Sam Darnold has been kind of whatever, kind of average. So hopefully they can return on the offense. Because I know they're 10-2, but they really haven't looked great ever since that 5-0 start. Number 6, I'm gonna have the Green Bay Packers up a spot. They coming off a big win on Thanksgiving versus the Dolphins. Packers, we know they had a good defense earlier in the season as well as now. Defense slowed down Miami. They've been playing great football, and I think offensively, Jordan Love has stopped their own picks, and that has done wonders for the offense, especially and Josh Jacobs' emergence. If they can keep that going, I believe they can be a sneakily Super Bowl contenders. Number 5, I'm gonna have the Pittsburgh Steelers really staying where they are. 2 weeks ago, they lost to the Browns and then they beat the Bengals. Steelers, their defense, honestly, I'm still slightly concerned about. Honestly, I know Mike Tomlin's known for his defenses, but this year they've been kind of iffy. Like they've had their moments, but they've also had some pretty bad games, like the ones against the Bengals and the Browns. Um, However, I think their offense has really come alive with Russ back there, and Najee is having himself a Najee-like season. The Steelers, um, they're looking the good old Pittsburgh Steelers. The number 4, I'm gonna have the Philadelphia Eagles staying where they are. Maybe the Eagles should go up, but the first half Eagles make them look like a 9 or 10 team, but the second half Eagles look like the best team in the NFL. Saquon comes is goaded. Saquon's the best running back. Hurts is playing alright football, and that Eagles defense has really found their footing. I know the defense was a concern earlier in the season, but the defense has really done well. They shut down that Ravens passing game and Derrick Henry. I think their defense is very good. Their offense just really has to do better in the first half. That first half Eagles team does not look good. Number 3, I'm gonna have the Chiefs also staying where they are. The Chiefs, doing Chiefs stuff, barely winning. They might not look good winning, but they're 11-1. So I have the Chiefs at 3, and they know ways to win, which is quite important in the NFL. And number 2, I'm gonna have the Buffalo Bills also staying where they are. They just continuing to demolish whoever they play. Josh Allen playing good football. He's not allowing any of these trap teams to get to him. That defense playing good football. The Bills are just continuing to demolish teams that they play in their schedule. And then teams that dropped out, I'm going to have the Arizona Cardinals. Back-to-back losses means you're out. Their offense has not looked good ever since that bye week, and their defense was not terrible, but they're not great or anything. Number 1, you're still going to have the Detroit Lions, barely beating the Bears on Thursday Night Football. Lions have come down to earth a little bit. Their offense wasn't quite as explosive, but still very, very good, especially with Montgomery and Gibbs. Goff plays good football. Amon Ra is Amon Ra. Their defense is playing good football. However, they're starting to get some injuries on the Lions side, which is might be nothing, might be something. But still, Lions are number 1. So there you have it, my NFL Week 14 Power Rankings.